I have been wanting to reorganize my bookshelves for months. I've never been able to find the right time or never really knew what I wanted to do. Well, now I have the time and I know exactly what I want to do with my bookshelves, and today I am going to reorganize them. Go ahead and grab your favorite beverage and a snack and come along with me as I reorganize these shelves. I want to give you guys a brief overview of how my shelves are organized right now and my plan for them. I have 3 bookshelves. The first one, which is the one you're seeing behind me, is the one that's in the dining room. I actually share this space with my boyfriend. I took a few of his things off, but you'll probably see them at the end because I'm going to be reorganizing everything. Up top currently, I have Game of Thrones with a little gnome that looks like Gandalf. Those should not go together. And then on the other side, I have all of my folklore. There's a little bit of nonfiction up there, some mythology. Some of those things I have acquired from the Goodwill in my area, and then some of them I have purchased from independent bookstores in their mythology and folklore sections. And then on that second shelf behind me, there is an empty space, but that is where my boyfriend's stuff was. Over on the other side, those are just kind of random books, almost like wilderness type books. On the third shelf, this is where I've been wanting to keep all of my classics or books that are a little bit older, some of the ones that I have been trying to thrift. And then on the fourth shelf down, there's an empty picture frame that has literally been empty for the past year. We have a picture we want to put in there, but we haven't had a chance to just place an order with CVS for them to develop the picture for us to pick it up to fill in the frame. So that's why there is no picture in that picture frame. And on this shelf, aside from the empty picture frame, I have a lot of my nonfiction books on that shelf. And then on the very bottom are just our puzzles, board games, and everything. And I do intend for those to stay down there. I have 2 bookshelves that are in my office, and those 2 bookshelves were actually made for me by my grandfather. He handcrafted them. He does a lot of woodworking, and these were some of his very first things that he ever made in woodworking. So if you see some errors, it's because he was learning how to stain wood. They're very special to me, and I absolutely love those shelves. But nonetheless, on this big shelf here, this is pretty much where currently I have all of my hardback books. All of the hardcovers go on here across the top. I have some of my favorite fantasy series. I have The Hunger Games. I have The Lord of the Rings. As you can see, I have The Witcher, which I have only read some of those books, and I have actually not read Percy Jackson, but I just wanted to put him over here as well. And the way that they're organized is by the title, like whatever the title is. And honestly, it bothers me. I know this is going to bother you guys too, or some of you out there, but yes, it does bother me that I have been sorting my books out by the name of the book, not necessarily the author. So just hang with me, don't click off of the video. I promise I am going to be organizing my books in a much healthier way. And then down here at the bottom, I have predicted that this is going to be my favorite series. So I do have The Faithful and the Fallen down here. I own all 4 books. I'm currently still reading that series. I have a few other books down here that were a little bit too beefy for them to fit on the shelf with everybody else. So I tried to keep my chunky books down here off to the right side. These are my self-published books, not mine personally, but what I own of self-published books. Now, some of the other books on these shelves could be self-published, and maybe I'm just not aware, but don't worry, it's fine. Everybody's about to get mingled together, so it's not going to be that big of a deal or that big of a difference. On the right side, in the final bookshelf that I have all of my paperbacks, and across the top I do have some Brandon Sanderson books, and then some fun little Beanie Babies, and a fun little quote that I absolutely love. The rest of the shelves are like the others, where they are alphabetized by the book's name, not author's name, not author's first name, last name. On the very bottom of the shelf, I have some of my favorite TV series, some little like writing help books that I have up there that I really like, and I do plan on keeping those books in my office because they're writing craft books. I do a lot of my writing in that space, so it just makes sense for those to be there. Now that you've seen the overview of everything, I need to tell you how I am going to go about reorganizing my bookshelves. I'm sure you're seeing how I've organized my shelves and you are cringing. You've seen how I've organized or not organized my classics classics, and then it's like everybody else just gets kind of thrown around like rag dolls. So how I plan on changing my shelves, I want to organize them by genre, by author's last name. That's pretty much the only criteria I have. You're probably curious about who I want to be out here to be displayed when we have company, or what I want to see every day, because not every day I spend in my office, but every day I have to come out into the wide space called my living area. So what are the books that I want to see that are gonna make me feel happy when I see them? I have plans to put my fantasy favorites out here, my classics, folklore, and mythology. All the decor I have out here is going to stay as well. The bottom shelf here is definitely going to stay the same because it's just the easiest place to put all of our board games and all of the puzzles. And you know, when we have company out, it's easier to just go down there and grab it. And it looks a little bit neater of it being at the bottom versus it being at the top or somewhere in the middle. That's how I plan on organizing all of my shelves. I don't own a lot of romance or anything. Once we get everybody pulled off of the shelves and I'm starting to organize everything, I think what I plan on doing is anybody that's like lit fic or romance or anything that's not a huge genre that I own, I'll probably just lump them together and then just organize them by last name. So that part is going to be a little bit subject to change. I might have to tweak it just a little bit since my primary genres are fantasy, horror, and mystery thriller. So that is how I plan on organizing. One thing that is going to bother me about having this new system, I do plan on mingling my hardback books with my paperbacks, because some of the books I own the same author in hardcover, and then some of them I own in paperback. I want to keep the authors together though, but I have to mingle them. That was something in my mind that I just really did not want to do, but I have to do that because I want the author to have all their books in one place. Let's go ahead and get down and dirty. I'm gonna be pulling all this stuff off the shelves. I will talk to you guys and update you about this process along the way. Going to put everybody back on the shelves. So like I said, I need to find the fantasy series that I want to put on the shelf out here. Some of the stuff that belongs to my boyfriend, I'm actually gonna put on the top shelf. I think those items would look cooler on the top, and then probably put a few other things, maybe some plants. And then I'm thinking on that second shelf, I'm going to put some of the classics there, and then I will put the folklore and the mythology stuff on that shelf too. Then go and get my fantasy books and probably put them either on this shelf or this one. I won't lie, I actually really like the way this looks. It looks really neat and tidy. The only problem is I didn't put as many books back on as I needed to. So what I think I'm going to do is my nonfiction stack. Here, let me grab it really fast. This is my stack of nonfiction. All of them might not be considered completely nonfiction. What I think I'm gonna try and do is on this tippy top shelf, I think I'm going to put these books stacked behind the flowers and see how that looks with the model plane. It's the next day, and I think in my last clip or my last couple of clips, I had mentioned that it was starting to get really dark because it's about to start raining, and honestly, it was pouring within 30 minutes of me saying that. It got really dark and the lighting got really bad, and I did not want to keep recording and have the lighting in the video slowly deteriorate. I have this going on behind me, but I was thinking about it last night and I had a really interesting idea in my mind, and I want to see how it's going to play out. I had stacked those nonfiction books up there, and I wasn't quite sure if I was feeling it when I put them up there, but I was like, you know what, we're gonna feel it out, we're gonna see how it looks, because I can always change it around later. I am going to change them around. Let's spend a little bit more time out here, and then we're gonna go into my office. If you hear a hammering noise or like drilling or whatever, I have absolutely no idea what that is. So the building might collapse, and if it does, just to know, it was so nice knowing you guys. That empty picture frame that we've been laughing about this entire video, I ended up moving that somewhere else. Actually, you can see it right there in the background. It's right there. It looks a lot better up there. I really like this picture of my boyfriend and I, so I'm actually gonna put this on this bookshelf. There is a little bit more space down here than I originally thought there was going to be. That's all I have, this whole thing, and then the little bit down here. I thought I had a lot more horror, thriller, mystery, that type of vibe. So next I am going to do my historical fiction. I forgot to mention I have just a very small selection of middle grade. I think all of my historical fiction should be able to fit here. Down here I am going to pretty much, I think, put what was already down there back down there. As you can see, this little shelf down here always gives me so many problems. I'm just kind of playing around with it. I don't know. I don't know. I forgot that I had the false inner stars, so I'm gonna have to go back over to the other section with just like my hodgepodge, my little miscellaneous section, and squeeze him in over there. I also had Pistol Daisy. I own another book by the same author. While this is a historical fiction, the other one is a fantasy. I'm just gonna stick this little novella over there with the fantasy because there's some space over there for a little tiny guy, so I can do that. Here is the reveal. Here are all 3 of my bookshelves. After I took everything off, did a little bit of dusting, cleaning, vacuuming, and put all of the books back on. I separated them by genre and then sorted them by author's last name, and it turned out so incredibly amazing. I absolutely loved doing this. It took a little bit longer than I thought it would, but I'm really not that worried because I love the way this turned out. There's a couple of things I want to just kind of tweak and do nonchalantly over the next couple of months. I have always wanted a little book cart. I just think they are so cute. I haven't really had the time to look around and see what I want, so I don't have one yet. I definitely do want a book cart, one because I'll be able to buy a few more books and my shelves won't look quite so cluttered in my office, and I think it'll also be really fun because I want it to be more of a TBR cart, so I can put all of the books that I am about to read, or the books that I'm gonna unhaul, or the books that I am currently hauling, you know, collecting for a video. I can put all of those books on that little cart. Maybe not necessarily a TBR cart, but it's like my filming cart. The second thing I want to add into that room is a little reading chair. I have been on the lookout, but I just haven't found one that fit that space, and it could be because I had a desk on that side of the wall, so I really haven't been able to visualize that room without that extra desk in there. I think now that that room is exactly how I want it to be, minus the cart. Now all the shelves are organized how I want them to be. I can find everything a lot easier. I think I'll be able to find a reading chair that fits me, fits my needs, fits that room. So now that's what I'm going to be hunting for, and maybe putting a little light in that corner where Crash's food bowl is, maybe tucked in that corner somewhere, but he's a little rambunctious, so I'll have to find something that's sturdy enough that he won't knock it over and hurt himself. This was everything I wanted this reorganization to be, and honestly, I feel so much better. There's a weight lifted off my shoulders. Finally getting to reorganize my bookshelves and have it how I want it to be. You know, even though 2024 has not turned out to be the year I expected it to be, that doesn't mean I have to neglect the things that make me happy. And honestly, collecting books and having my little 3 little bookshelves, it is just everything to me, and I am so happy I was able to show you my process and take you along with this journey. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did enjoy it, let me know what was your favorite part of this entire reorganization process. But if you're still here and you don't know what else to say, leave me the little plant emoji. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope to see you in the next one very soon. Bye. See, I can't stand here because it looks like I have little Medusa tendrils. All right, let's move this way. All right, here we go.